Welcome back to the Oronde podcast. I have a very special guest in here. His name is Jerry Sanchez. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, Jerry?
Hello, Oronde. This is
Hello.
Jerry, a scientist who knows about static electricity.
Why don't you go ahead and tell us about static electricity? What does it do?
So, static electricity, basically everything in the universe is made of tiny objects called atoms. So, each atom has even tinier particles called protons and electrons, which I know most of you guys should know. These tiny particles swirl around each other continuously. An electron has what is called a negative charge. A proton has a positive charge, which I'm pretty sure you guys know. Positive
Yeah.
and negative charges try to pull each other together. However, two positive charges or two negative charges will push each other away. Electricity results when electrons are pushed and pulled from atom to atom, which is
Okay.
basically how it works.
Okay. That's a very thorough and long explanation that you gave. So, from your sources, is there anything more that you could tell us about static electricity, or is that about it?
Well, you see, static electricity can be caused by many things, like you know how you got a balloon. You
Right.
can rub it towards someone's hair,
Yeah.
and it can cause their hair to get attracted to the balloon. That is static electricity because of all the positive and negative particles
Yep.
or
Yep.
proton charges that are occurring, which is
Okay.
basically a simple way to put it as to how it happens. It also can be with lightning that is released from the Earth's atmosphere during thunderstorms, which lightning can be attracted to metal things under Earth that have the opposite proton charges. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, uh, because of that explanation, now I do know what you mean. So do
Mm-hmm.
you have any idea on who created the thought or idea of static electricity?
Well, if I have to be real with you, uh, may you repeat the question, sir?
Okay, 1 second. So, maybe who you were thinking about, who created the idea of static electricity. Maybe
Oh, so
you're
you mean
thinking
the
about,
history?
yeah, the
Oh,
history.
I get you. Well, the ancient Greeks were the first ones to study electric forces. In the American colonies during the 1700s, Benjamin Franklin, which is the guy with the kite
Yeah.
that got struck. Yeah, he what do you call it? Proved that lightning is a form of electricity, which scientists later learned that electricity is related to magnetism. Then they learned how to generate electricity during using magnets. If you know
Hmm.
what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
basically the quick history.
maybe, well, back to my last question. Maybe the founder you were thinking about was Ewald George von Kleist. He was a Dutch physicist who discovered the idea of static electricity. Maybe was that who you were thinking of?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. So, any other things that you can tell us about static electricity?
Well, most objects have a balance of positive and negative charges, so they are
Okay,
considered natural.
naturally.
So this means that they do not push or pull onto each other electricity. So you know what I mean, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I do. Um, so about let me go. Let me pull up one of my sources right here. Let
All
me
right.
ask you another question. So it is said right here on Britannica.com. Small electric shock caused by static electricity during cold, dry weather is a familiar experience. While the sudden muscular reaction it it genders is sometimes unpleasant. it is usually harmless, even though static uh, potential several thousand volts are involved. Uh, so what does that say to you? Like, could you give some feedback on that?
Oh, well, you see, it really depends on how close you are to lightning because of all the thermal heat that comes out when it strikes,
Yes.
objects. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So when it strikes down, at first you don't feel it, but
Okay.
then all of a sudden, boosh, you feel like
Right.
heat coming towards you and stuff like that. So
Like
that's
when you were
probably
little.
why a bunch of it, like if you're far away, that's why a bunch of those static things would not affect you. Well, compared to if you were the one who was struck, like trees, let's just say that, you can see how
Okay.
much harm it causes them.
Like when you were little, going down that and that little plastic slide, and it would shock you while you go down. Is that?
Well, I
It,
find that kind of funny, but it's
yeah.
actually true. Some people
Yeah.
may think it's funny, like I did, but yeah, what do you call it? The tube in plastic causes your what do you call it? Clothes, and
Yeah.
the two together cause like
Rubs
a
against your
positive and
clothes.
negative charge. Yeah, which
Yeah.
causes then the electricity to come out and it makes your hair go up. So basically, what happens when you make contact with a balloon or rub your socks under a floor
Yeah.
for a set period of time, because it won't really work. Like if you only did it once and try to put it like that, you got to rub it at least a couple times. But yeah, I get you where you're going to.
Hmm. So, also, it kind of gives you like a little superpower for a second. You get the ability to shock other people. How does that work? When you rub your feet together on a rug, and then when you touch somebody, it gives them a little shock. How does that work? You have any
Oh
idea on
well,
that?
yeah. Well, since you're the one charging up the electricity, you have an opposite charge all over you. So once you touch another object that has like a different charge, let's just say you got like what, positive or negative. Let's just say you got positive. You touch somebody and they got negative. The things don't interact well, and then it sends off a what do you call it? Shock, just like lightning does when it touches a metal object under the earth. You get what I'm saying, right?
Yes, sir, I do. I'd like to ask our podcast moderator for a time check. How long have we been running for?
7 minutes, 50 seconds.
7 minutes. So I've got about
Oh, that's
3 minutes
perfect.
with our very electric guest Jerry Sanchez, and then I can take callers. I've got a couple
Hmm.
more questions for you, Jerry. Is that all right?
Yeah, it's all right around it.
All right. So what about, let's see, maybe if you remember being in high school or maybe middle school, the
Hmm.
teacher brought out like this electric orb and it had like a
Oh,
wand on it. Yeah.
yeah, I know what you're talking about, Ron.
Yeah. And when he touched it with the wand, it would make like an
Cause a shock.
electric. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I had a teacher back in 11th grade.
Yeah.
He was a really nice teacher. He
Hmm.
uh, he gave us an A once for doing this project. Shout out to him, Mr.
Okay.
Renahan. But in other news, the thing had, you know how there's like little plates or something like that underneath the little ball of like metal that are just shaking together, like moving towards each other.
Sure.
Yeah, it's basically creating all the energy and lifting it up. So if you get like something else, like let's just say like something metal and touch it, basically get an electric shock. Or like if you put your like finger, you can actually see the little lightning piece or static shock hit you,
Yep.
and it makes that little noise. And also, there was something I forgot. I seen my teacher do it. He had like a piece of what is that called? Like tape. You know
Tape.
what I'm
Yeah.
talking? Yeah, and then when he put it towards it, like it started to repel back,
Okay.
which at that time I found that was actually fantastic. But
So that what
yeah,
made you want to do it?
yeah, so that basically what inspired me to become what I am right now and learn about static electricity.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. Um,
10 minutes are up.
10 minutes. All right. We're gonna take more callers, and we'll have another guest. Jerry, thank you for being on the podcast today. And I'll be able to be in. Hope I'll be able to be in touch with you later.
Yes, Oronde. Thank you for having me.
Mm-hmm.
Have a good day.
You too, sir.